What's going on, guys? Let's look at this problem right here. Here this question is asking, use the laws of logic to show that the following logical expression is a tautology. Okay, here we have this expression given. We are going to prove that this is true. Okay, in order to do this one, we are going to use bunch of laws. If you don't know the laws, it's better to watch the video on that first. I put the link in my description so you can watch the video on laws. Now let's go ahead and do that. Here we just have to prove this is true. Okay, now first of all, I'm going to use the implication laws. Implications law says that when we have implies something, that can be written as not and or in the middle and then other one. Okay, let's go ahead and do that. Each time I'm going to mention the, so here let's see what we are trying to achieve. So here we are trying to prove that this whole thing and P, this whole thing is equivalent to true. This is our purpose. Okay, now this is what we are trying to prove. Now the first thing is I'm going to use the implication law. Implication law says when we have an implies, it can be rewritten as not P and the middle one change into or, and we will have Q. This is what implication law says, and the other one remains the same, P, Q. Now the next thing is we can use the distributive laws. Distributive law says, distributive law, like for example, if you have 5a plus b, you can write it as 5a plus 5b, same thing right here. So when you have this one like and p, you can write this one as not p and p, and also in the or will come in the middle, and you will have q and p, q and p, and that implies q. The next thing is we are going to use the negation law. Negation law states that when we have not P and P, it means one of them is going to be true and false. If one is true, other one is going to be definitely false. If this is false, that one is going to be true. And if you AND with anything with a false, that's going to be false. So this whole thing is going to be false. That's what negation law says. So we just put false right here, and false or Q and P. That implies Q. Okay, it's better to put this equivalent sign everywhere. Okay, the next thing is we are going to use identity law. Identity law says if you OR with anything, that's gonna be itself. Like if you OR with false or true, it's gonna be just this thing. Like if you OR with false, it depends on this one, right? If this is true, this is gonna be it, and if this is false, and this is gonna be it. Actually this works with false. So if it's false, we can just neglect the false and write this one around. That's what identity laws says. So we can write this one as Q and P implies Q. Okay, now let's go ahead and continue this one right here. Q and P implies Q. So the next thing is we are going to use the implication law. Implication law, as we seen before, when we have imply, we can write this one as, like we can get rid of this implies and replace a not here, and in the middle we will have an or. So let's go ahead and write that one, not Q and P or Q. Okay, and the next thing is we are going to use the De Morgan's theorem, De Morgan's law. De Morgan's law says when we have not and something in common, we can expand this one as not Q, and the middle one change into or, and then it will become not P, the whole thing, or Q. Okay, this is De Morgan's theorem. The next thing is we are going to just use commutative law. Commutative law says we can just switch it around. Commutative law says when we have not Q or not P, it is equivalent to not P or not Q. So we can just write this one as not P or not q, or q. Okay, the next thing is we can use the associative law. Associative law says you can just change the bracket. Like if you have bracket or q, you can put the bracket, get rid of this bracket and put the bracket for this one. Okay, in that way we will have not p or not q or q. Now from this one you can see here we have another negation law. So negation law says when we have not q and or q, this is going to be definitely true, because at least one of them is going to be true. So this whole thing is true. So not p or true. And then finally we can end this one with a domination law. Domination law says if you OR with anything with true, that's going to be true. So this is equivalent to true. So therefore we proved this thing is equal to this one. Okay, and that's how we do that. And I hope you guys find this video helpful. Thanks for watching. And if you're trying to learn discrete mathematics, there are a bunch of videos in my playlist. I hope you guys watch that too. And if you are trying to learn all these laws, there are a bunch of laws. I have made all of the laws with a video. Like there are 2 videos, I put it in the description. And don't forget to subscribe. See you next time.